The story begins 10 years after the collapse of human civilization, a time when the few survivors left are forced to fight every day just to stay alive. Deep inside a forest, a young man named Jake is out hunting with his father. They manage to wound a wild boar, but when they follow the blood trail, the animal is gone. With no food in hand, they are forced to keep searching for supplies. After walking for a long time, they come across two abandoned cars blocked by fallen branches. While searching through them, the father finds a few cigarette butts and takes them. Jake, on the other hand, gets lucky and finds a pack of expired biscuits. But as he tries to hide it, he accidentally sets off the car horn. The sharp sound breaks the silence of the forest, and before long, the sound of hungry wild dogs begins closing in. Thankfully, the dogs never find them, and the two quickly decide to head back home. And this is where it all begins. This is year 10. While walking behind his father, Jake secretly eats the biscuits until they are gone. Without thinking, he tosses the empty wrapper onto the ground, not realizing that this careless act could lead to something far worse. The next morning, Jake wakes up and steps outside to use the makeshift toilet his father built. While he is there, he suddenly hears something behind him. When he turns around, he sees a group of strangers approaching. Panicking, Jake runs back to the house, waking his father and his sick wife in the process. Sensing danger, his father quickly packs their supplies and medicine into a backpack and hands it to Jake. But because Jake's wife is too weak to move, his father hides them inside a septic tank so he can face the group alone. A brutal fight follows, and in the end, Jake and his wife can only watch as his father sacrifices himself to protect them. Afterward, the group loots the house, taking everything useful, including the backpack that had fallen earlier. In this broken world, even a small wound can lead to deadly infection, and Jake's wife is already badly injured. Without the medicine, her chances of survival are slim. Not long after, the group leaves, dragging Jake's father's body with them. As they pass the septic tank, the leader grows suspicious and considers checking it. But the stench rising from inside makes him change his mind. Once the raiders are gone, Jake crawls out and returns to the house. There he notices the discarded biscuit wrapper he threw away the day before. In that moment, he realizes his own greed may have caused everything to fall apart. Inside the wooden house, everything has been taken, and his wife's condition is growing worse by the minute. Overwhelmed and helpless, Jake briefly considers ending her suffering with a pillow. But after losing his father, he cannot bring himself to lose the woman he loves as well. With no other choice, Jake decides to retrieve the stolen medicine. He leaves his wife with their last supply of water and blocks the door to keep anyone from getting inside. Then he follows the blood trail left by his father and heads deep into the forest. During the journey, Jake keeps moving with nothing but the thin clothes on his body. The cold slowly creeps in, and exhaustion begins to drain what little strength he has left. Eventually, his legs give out and he collapses. Just as he is about to lose consciousness, he notices a young boy in the distance. Seeing this as his only chance, Jake forces himself to follow him. Unfortunately, the boy realizes he is being followed and runs into a nearby building where he lives with his grandfather. Jake breaks in after him, not with any bad intentions, but simply to take some warm clothing so he can survive the journey ahead. After changing into the old man's clothes, he continues on his way. Not long after, Jake comes across bloodstains and scattered bones on the ground. In that moment, he realizes his father has likely been eaten by the raiders. The shock overwhelms him, and he nearly vomits. With a heavy heart, Jake buries what remains of his father before forcing himself to move forward again, still focused on finding the medicine. Since the blood trail ends there, Jake climbs a tree to get a better view of the area. From above, he spots a thin trail of smoke rising in the distance. But before he can climb down safely, he loses his balance and falls hard to the ground. The noise attracts a pack of wild dogs. Acting fast, Jake builds a small fire and turns it into a torch to scare them away. Using the burning embers, he manages to drive the dogs off. Completely exhausted, he eventually passes out and wakes up the next morning. After surviving yet another close call, he continues his journey and soon comes across a closed blue tent. Curious, he approaches it and searches inside, hoping to find supplies. After gathering what he can, Jake prepares to leave, but suddenly runs into the same young boy from before. As he tries to follow him, he notices a pool of blood floating on the surface of a nearby river. That is when he sees a woman from the raider group washing a knife at the riverbank. This time, Jake does not act recklessly. Instead, he quietly picks up a stone and follows her back to the bandits' camp. When he realizes she is alone, Jake decides to move in once she steps away. Inside the camp, he finds his backpack, but the medicine he desperately needs is gone. He begins searching the area, hoping it might still be there. Suddenly, the woman returns and attacks him without hesitation. The two struggle violently until Jake manages to strike her in the head with a rock. Knowing the others will return soon, Jake quickly cleans the blood and hides her body, trying to erase any sign of what just happened. When the bandits return to their camp, they also bring back the young boy Jake had seen earlier. From a distance, Jake watches as the group leader opens a storage box, takes out medicine, and distributes it to the injured members before locking it away again. After that, the leader heads toward the river, searching for the woman who had gone missing. Tension rises when one of the bandits discovers a dropped weapon. This immediately makes them suspicious, and they begin searching the area. Jake uses this moment to quietly slip back into the camp. His first instinct is to rescue the young boy, who is now tied up, but the child grows frightened and suddenly cries out, alerting one of the resting bandits nearby. Realizing he no longer has time, Jake pulls back and waits for another opportunity. Once the area seems clear again, Jake moves toward the locked medicine box. But just as he tries to open it, the bandits return, forcing him to hide underneath a vehicle. From there, he watches as they discover the body of their fallen companion. Even though they are part of the same group, some of them refuse to eat her body. Instead, they decide to cremate her that night. The next morning, Jake makes his move. He quietly approaches the leader and carefully takes the key hanging around his neck. Once he has it, he opens the medicine box and quickly grabs the pills he needs. Before leaving, he locks the vehicle door using the same padlock. Unfortunately, as he runs, Jake accidentally triggers a noise trap. The sound immediately wakes the bandits, and they begin chasing him without hesitation. Back at the house, Jake's wife wakes up after hearing the sound of wild dogs. When she looks outside, she realizes the animals have surrounded the area, likely drawn by the scent of her wounds. Meanwhile, Jake continues to flee for his life. Using every bit of strength and instinct he has left, he manages to stay ahead of the bandits. He runs through the forest until he reaches the home where the young boy once lived with his grandfather. But when he enters, he sees clear signs of wild dogs inside. The truth becomes horrifyingly clear. The grandfather has been killed, likely because of the damage Jake caused earlier when he broke in. Overwhelmed with guilt, Jake steps outside and walks forward in despair. What he does not realize is that the bandits are already behind him. With a sudden strike to the back of his head, Jake is knocked unconscious. A short time later, Jake wakes up to find his mouth and legs tightly bound. He is surrounded by the bandits, who are preparing to cook him. While lying there, he notices a whistle on the ground beside him. Taking advantage of their distraction, Jake slowly reaches for it and blows with all his strength. The sharp sound echoes through the area, drawing the attention of the wild dogs. Panic spreads as the bandits flee, while Jake struggles to free himself before the dogs reach him. Thankfully, he manages to break free and hide before they can attack. After surviving once again, Jake quickly puts on his clothes and grabs the bag filled with medicine. This time, he chooses not to run anymore. He knows that even if the bandits escape the dogs, they will continue hunting him. Now he is ready to fight back. Not long after, the bandits realize Jake is gone and begin searching the area. One of them notices something strange in the distance and moves closer. The moment he gets near, Jake leaps down from above and attacks him. After taking him down, Jake quickly puts on the man's clothes and drags the body to draw the attention of the others. When another bandit approaches, Jake uses the moment to strike again and takes him out as well. He then picks up the man's bow and arrows, fully determined to face their leader. When they finally come face to face, Jake fires an arrow that strikes the leader in the leg. But just as he moves in to finish it, the bow breaks, forcing them into close combat. At that moment, the sound of wild dogs echoes through the area, giving Jake the chance to escape once more. After running for a long time, Jake reaches a house. As he approaches, he notices a human skeleton sitting on the balcony, still holding a weapon. He carefully enters the house and finds plenty of supplies inside, including another firearm. Now armed with two weapons, he gathers what he can and prepares to leave. Just as he is about to go, Jake hears someone entering the house. It is the bandit leader, limping from his injury. Jake raises his gun, but it is empty. A brutal struggle follows, and in the end, Jake manages to grab a weapon and shoot the leader, finally killing him. With the danger gone, Jake takes the supplies and starts his journey back home. Along the way, he stops at the small building where the young boy once lived. There, he leaves behind 3 cans of food as a sign of respect for the boy's grandfather. After that, he continues on his way home. When Jake finally arrives, he finds the barricade at his door destroyed and his wife gone. The realization crushes him. He drops to the ground, overwhelmed by guilt and despair. Then, in the middle of his grief, someone approaches him from behind and gently places a hand on his shoulder. So the moral of the story is never litter, Never trust expired biscuits. And never underestimate how one bad snack decision can turn your whole life into a survival horror movie with bonus trauma.